You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma podcast. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode. Excited to share this episode with you today, but before we do, I've got to thank our sponsors. First of all, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. They've been a huge part of this podcast for the last few years. So the Oklahoma Hall of Fame have been sharing Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com. And for daily updates, go to oklahomahof on Instagram and give them a follow. Our other sponsor today is the Chickasaw Nation. Now, the Chickasaw Nation have sponsored pretty much everything in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma. And it's an honor to have their name and their brand supporting this podcast. So a huge shout out to Governor Anatobi for supporting this podcast. It really means a lot. Our third sponsor is Diffie Ford Lincoln down in El Reno. Now, this one makes me so happy because these guys are great friends of mine, play a lot of golf together. I've bought my cars from them, do most of my oil changes down there, have a cup of coffee, hang out down in El Reno. It's a good spot to go. And not only are they great friends, but they provide a great service. So for over 60 years, third generation family owned Oklahoma business down in El Reno. They're also in Bethany as well. So people in the Bethany area know the Diffies really well. But if you're looking for anything new, used, Ford, Lincoln, or whatever, I'm sure they could find anything you want. Check them out, diffieford.net, and then on Instagram at diffiefordlincoln. This episode is brought to you by the Doghouse OKC. Recently, I have been in need of some doggy daycare for my two pups, and the Doghouse have come in clutch. The team over there are incredible. They've taken care of my two golden doodles, and so it's been an honor to partner with them on the podcast and share the love. And the one thing that I do with the sponsors that I have is stuff that I use and recommend, like the Diffies with my car, Hall of Fame. They're awesome. Citizens Banks, where I bank. Chickasaw Nation, huge supporter of Oklahoma. And adding to that is the Doghouse. And so if you're in need of doggy daycare in the day or boarding overnight, they do grooming and other cool things too. But I've had a fantastic experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to share this with you too. So go to thedoghouseokc.com and follow them on Instagram at thedoghouseokc. And hopefully our pups will run into each other. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, host, back with another episode. We are at our agency office today, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce my guest, Pilar Esparza of Taco Empire. I probably said taco differently because I have an accent, but you have an accent compared to me, and I love that. It's fun to have someone on the podcast who isn't from here like myself. So thank you so much for coming up to the office today. I appreciate you, and excited to dive into your story and hear more about your business.
Thank you, Mike, for having me.
Yeah, so we have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah.
A lot of people, Erica Lucas being one of them, who's just powerhouse. I love her and what Chris are doing. But you originally are from Mexico. Mm-hmm. Do you miss home much?
Yeah, I do. But, it's different because whenever I'm here, I completely forget about Mexico. When I'm there, Oklahoma never existed. So it's kind of weird, but it works that way for me.
Do you go home very often?
I try. I'm going in November for 2 weeks.
Do you usually kind of go for an extended period just to make sure like 2 weeks sounds like the perfect amount of time?
Before I used to go for like a month and a half. Now I go like 2 weeks is the max, probably.
Okay. And kids, you have kids here? Your kids going with you, or you go back?
Yes, they do.
Well, that's nice to take them home and keep them. How old are your kids?
13 and 8.
Okay, so to keep them have strong memories of what back home is like, and that's really cool. I'm sure they love going home. I'm sure family really appreciates you taking them home to see it.
They love it.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about kind of how you grew up and where, food and catering and entrepreneurship kind of weaves into your story as you're a young lady growing up in Mexico.
Well, I was born and raised in Mexico, and my parents have a restaurant. My grandparents have a restaurant too. They opened the restaurant like 33 years ago. I'm 32, so I pretty much grew up on the restaurant business my entire life. I moved here when I was almost 19. And ever since the beginning, I always work in restaurants, and because that's what I knew, how to manage, what to do. I started working in the kitchen because my English wasn't very good. Then I started working as a server, and just little by little climb my way up.
Yeah. Did you ever have kind of? I'm thinking of like what were the dreams of Pilar when she was 10 years old? Did you always think you'd be in a restaurant and own your own, or did you think about doing other things?
No, I was trying to run away from it.
Oh, really?
Yes. It's very demanding.
Yeah.
It's just very demanding. It's a lot of work. Holidays are not the same for us. Like, we never celebrated Mother's Day or Father's Day because we were always working at the restaurant. So, but I like it. I mean, I do enjoy serving others, making sure everything's good, and the food, all of those things. I kind of love it. It's a very hard lifestyle. So
it's never ending. You're
it's
right.
never
You're
ending.
always on.
There's no days off.
Yeah. What was the type of food that your grandparents had and then your parents had at the restaurant?
Seafood.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And is seafood different in Mexico than it is here?
Yes.
Okay. I've never been to Mexico, so
you need to come.
Yeah, I'd love to learn about all of it. I've had friends who've gone, said it's incredible, but not been down there yet.
Yeah, it was. They are seafood restaurants in a Mexican style. Mm-hmm. You'll see it here, but I mean, we are from the central Mexico, so it's gonna be different from the coast or whatever. But it's really good. My grandparents' restaurant is very popular in my hometown. Mm-hmm. It's been there 30 years, 33. Yeah. And if you ask for La Fragua, which is the name, everybody will know about it. It's very, very popular.
That's really cool to have that and have it's nice to be known and nice to have grandparents that have this really cool business and everyone knows and everyone, owning a restaurant. I would assume it's fun to, like you said, hosting people, because people are coming there for their special occasions. People are coming there for their birthdays. They're celebrating something for the most part, or coming in on a date night or something, whatever it is. Like that's fun to host. But at the same time, like you said, the work never ends. So you don't get to sit back and enjoy that as much as you probably would like to do. Yeah,
my grandmother's birthday was Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. And we never celebrated her. It was always working. I mean, we will just bring her flowers or something, or do like a little party on another day, but not the actual day because of that.
So what is like your earliest or favorite memories of kind of in the kitchen with your parents and grandparents?
In the kitchen, I'm not a kitchen person.
You didn't want to be in the kitchen?
No, it's just, I don't know. I never wanted to cook. I do know how to cook, and like half of the recipes at Taco Empire are mine, but the kitchen was never my thing. My memories are like hosting the parties and making sure like everybody feel welcome and happy and had a good experience. That's probably what brings me more joy.
Yeah. Do you come from a big family?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm the oldest of 49 grandchildren.
You said 49 grandchildren.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, my mom has 12 siblings, and I'm the oldest. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I bet family parties are incredible. Yes, you naturally are used to hosting parties because of your family. It's just normal business, right? It's not like you have you've been around this life and around the party, hosting because of. Like I said, that's your family. That's every family get together.
Exactly.
Right? Some of my friends, if I said to them, hey, you have to host a party for 50 people this weekend, they'd rather like run a marathon. They didn't want to do any of that. So it is obviously no surprise then that you end up in the business yourself by growing up in it. And that's kind of like your way of life. And like you said, you wanted to run away from it for so long. Mm-hmm. What age do you get to that you think, maybe I want to do this as a business on my own?
Well, I guess life brings you to this. It was an opportunity that came to us. Before I did, I had another business. I will style parties and, decorate events, little events, and I was doing pretty good. We decided to try with the food truck. The goal was always to have a restaurant, but we decided to have, I'm going to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
With my family, what I learned is that no matter what I did, I always wanted to be my own boss. So that was the goal. The ultimate goal is be your own boss. With my other business, it was something that even like no matter how big I grew, I was going to be there all the time because the things that I was doing, I needed to do it myself to make sure that it had my touch, my style, and all of those things. With the restaurant, I knew that it was going to be different because it is very demanding, but you can get your weight out somehow. And so we decided to try with a food truck to see how it was going to be, if we were going to be accepted. And thankfully we did get accepted by the community, and we decided to.
What was the events business that you had? Do you still have it today?
No, not really. It's called Balandra. And it started with little. Have you ever heard of a luxury picnic? Do you know what that is?
Just like a very, very kind of fancy picnic, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Basically that.
Yeah. With like wine and cheese and champagne and fruit and all of the stuff. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then from that I kind of can you do my first communions, or quinceañera for the Hispanic community, or a birthday party. Then I kind of little transition to doing that. And my specialty was children's parties, and I love to decorate and style and everything, but it was very demanding. I don't know. So at the same time, we were having the idea of trying something else.
Yeah.
And there was a time when I was doing both at the same time, and I needed to pick one. So I just decided to go full time with Taco Empire.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where does the name come from, Taco Empire? And why did you decide to start a truck versus? I mean, I probably understand. I know why you want to do a truck, but in your own words, would love to hear where the idea for Taco Empire comes from, and why tacos.
We just knew tacos are very popular, and we had good taco. We cook good tacos at home when we were like, let's try tacos, and that's how it came out.
Yeah.
Taco Empire, originally our name was Taco Republic.
Okay.
But there was another Taco Republic in Arkansas, I think.
Okay.
And they were getting phone calls trying to get us instead. So they reached out to us, and we had to change our name.
What a good idea.
Yeah, probably. And so, but I feel that Taco Empire, I like it better now, and people likes it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's really cool. And like you said, going back to starting with your savings, is that, like you said, that's kind of a culture thing for you guys versus just financing and getting a loan?
Everything, yeah.
So is that kind of just a pride thing that you grow up and you're like, hey, we've saved this money, we're going to put our hard-earned into this. I'm interested to know, because a lot of people out here, the culture out here is like, oh, we'll just get a loan and figure it out, finance it.
I feel that it is, like I say, a cultural thing. Our idea was we don't want to own anything, and we're just going to start little by little, and over the time, working, we'll see how it goes, and if there's something that needs to get better, we'll just correct it over the time, which is what we're doing now. But with the food truck, and then we opened the brick and mortar, everything was reinvested. Still, even for the brick and mortar, no loans or anything, just use the same earnings for the restaurant. And that's been our journey, and it's been working well, so I think we're not doing too bad.
Yeah, it's clearly it's a success because you went from a truck to opening up a restaurant, and that's not an easy thing to do. Go back a little bit. So you came here when you were 19.
Yeah.
Did you come to Oklahoma when you were 19, or did you come to a different state first?
No, Oklahoma, it's been always my home.
Okay. Why Oklahoma?
Because I had a family moving from Colorado to Oklahoma, because Oklahoma, there was a lot of business, new homes and a lot of work, and it was cheap compared to other places.
Yeah. And
that's how we ended up here.
Was there family here, or just another family that you guys knew?
That was the only one.
Okay.
Yeah. Other is my aunt. And other than her, I have my sister who came and visited me when I had my baby.
Yeah.
And then she met her husband here, and she lives in Guthrie, but we're the only family we have in here.
Okay. Yeah, and interested, for me, coming here, I came here to go to school. Mm-hmm. And then once I got here, I'm like, oh, I like this place. I'm going to, I didn't know much about life out here, especially in Oklahoma, growing up, but it was probably different for you. Like you probably knew more about America because it's a lot closer than the UK for me. Did you ever think growing up that you'd be out and move to America, or you didn't you'd be happy to be back home and never thought you'd be out here?
It's just like one of those things that life throws at you. Like it was never in my plans. It was never something that I wanted to. Yeah. It happened. But I'm just taking advantage, and I'm being grateful of all of the opportunities and all of the things that have been given to me ever since I moved. Yeah. Like I've been very lucky.
Yeah, I love it here. And that's one thing that friends of mine from here ask me, like, why haven't you moved home? I'm like, there's so much opportunity here, and people are really nice. And, you know,
that's one of the things that I noticed the most. Like, people was incredibly nice to me. I met a lot of people that I consider like my angels, because a lot of things will happen, and there was like always a solution or even a smile. Like, people are super nice, and I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, there's great people here, and they're genuine, and they, you know, like I said, if they're going to help you, they're going to help you. They say they're going to help you. They're really going to give you everything that they have, and that's the one reason I love it here, and I don't think I'm ever leaving.
Is it different in the UK?
Yeah, a lot different. Yeah, not a lot of opportunity compared to here. Weather's definitely not as good as it is here. I think I grew up kind of with the same mentality probably that you lived around, is that everyone was kind of a business owner, and I always aspired to have my own business the same way, which is very hard to do back home compared to doing it here. So yeah, it just felt like natural for me to be out here, and when going through school and being here after school, I just felt comfortable and felt like this was a place where I could build a life and build a dream and live, kind of spend my time. So it's been really good. I've always thought about, opening up different businesses, but none in the food industry because I can't cook to save my life.
Oh, no,
I'm
don't
terrible
do it.
at it. I'm so bad at it. But yeah, I mean, the good thing is that there's so many possibilities here, right? And a community that really supports you.
Yeah, we are very, like, this is the right time to be here. This is the right time to start doing something. So we're just going to go all in and keep going. So
how old are you then when you come here when you're 19? How old are you then when you open up the taco business, the truck?
30.
So really not that long ago then?
No, that was 2 years ago.
Okay. So up until that point, you're working in the food industry, you're serving, you're having a family, you have your kids at that point, and then it gets to a time where you're like, okay, let's do this. How do you find the truck?
It wasn't hard to find.
Really? Not at all?
No, we were looking for a brick and mortar first.
Okay.
And then we went to see a place, but we weren't very convinced about the location. But they told us that they were selling a food truck. So then we went on that, like, okay, let's talk about it, pricing and everything. And it was very quick. Like, everything happened very quickly. It wasn't something that we were like planning months in advance or really had a plan on what to do. After that, like, we were like, okay, we're gonna do this. What happens next? What do we need to do? Then we started designing the brand, branding, Taco Empire, colors, what we wanted to do, the menu, what we wanted to sell, how we wanted to look, how we wanted to taste. That happens in like 2 months. Yeah. And we open.
You mentioned some of the recipes. Some of the recipes are your recipes. Is that the creative side of you that you really get to enjoy versus like being in the kitchen as a kid and wanting to be like always in the kitchen? The recipe side is your creative outlet and fun to be, to create.
Well, I'm a very visual person. And of course, I mean, everything needs to taste good. But I just make sure that everything is going to look pretty. But also in my mind, I kind of like compare the flavors that kind of will match together. I don't know. And they'll just throw a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and let's try it. It's good. Okay, now let's take this off. And that's how we did a few of the recipes.
That's the fun side of owning a food business, is you get to taste all the food. Like, your research and development is a lot of fun. I've always said to friends who own food businesses, like, if you need someone to come in and taste test, like, happy to do it. Because it's, just fun to go and also to be there and during that moment too, and to see people's kind of dreams unfold and how creative they are. And it's a real skill, I think, to build a menu.
That's what we wanted to do different.
Yeah.
That we don't consider ourselves Tex-Mex. We are like authentic Mexican.
Yeah.
Of course, that if you compare us to another food truck on the south side or another Mexican restaurant, we won't be like as authentic compared to others. But I don't think it's, if you taste it, the flavor, it is authentic. We use a lot of the spices that come from Mexico specifically because if we get them here, it's not the same flavor.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but we also care a lot about the aesthetic of our food, our dishes, the ambience, a little bit of everything. Mm-hmm. So all of that adds up to have what we have now, which is Taco Empire. And it is different from a Mexican restaurant owned by Americans or a Mexican restaurant owned by Mexicans.
Yeah.
And which is also a lot of Tex-Mex. So I don't know how to describe us because obviously you haven't been at the restaurant and you don't know what I'm talking about. But once you are there, you will see what I'm talking about. You need to come.
I will definitely come check it out for sure.
Yes.
Not a huge fan of spice, but I will try, as little bits of things. I don't mind trying.
Okay,
I just don't want to blow my head off.
Not everything is spicy.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Well, that's TBD for people listening. I will report back after tried it. What do you remember about that first day you guys opened on the truck? And where did you decide to open?
So our first location was on May and Brighton in a parking lot in a shopping center. We've been trying to open like for a few days, but every single day something will happen. Like one day it was raining, the other day the food truck wasn't working, like something happened, I don't remember. So eventually we just decided to we're gonna open tomorrow, whether no matter what. And that's how it was. A lot of on the beginning was a lot of just friends and family and people spreading the word. That we also were in a location that was very visible, so a lot of the people will just drive by all of the time. Eventually they will stop by and try it. They became regulars. Everybody started spreading the word. We started doing events at the same time. You will rent a food truck for a party or something, and that's how little by little we kind of started building a name.
Did you start the catering business alongside when that food truck opened, or does the catering business come after when you have your brick and mortar?
It happened whenever we had the brick and mortar.
Okay.
With the food truck, we will cater for private events or festivals or stuff, but the way we're doing it now, it happened after we opened the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So word spreads fast. People know where you're at. You're on Main Britain in the truck. You're there regularly. Tell me about, that your dream being a reality in that first 6 months, and with the support that Oklahoma has, with the support that you have here from your community, family. Your dream's alive. You're a business owner now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Something you've always wanted to do in the food, with the food world as well. And were you still doing your balandra on the side?
Sometimes
No,
I do.
But just not. But your sole focus was food truck. Let's make this happen.
Yeah, because my mindset is just to keep working on Taco Empire. Yeah. Our vision is to open many locations across Oklahoma. So I'm a business owner now, and I do. I'm grateful for what we have and what we have achieved and all of those milestones. But to me, the dreams is still a little bit, just little. We're working on getting bigger. So.
You have a big plan, and this is a small step in the right direction.
This is just a small
steps. Yeah. So how long does it take you then before you open up your brick and mortar? And was that quite a tough decision to make?
No, because everything aligned, and it just happened the way it has to be. It had to be. We were looking for a location because we knew we just needed to have one. And then we look everywhere, couldn't find anything. And just out of nowhere, someone came to us saying, hey, there's this location that was going to be another restaurant, but they're backing up and they want to sell it. It was 80% built. We just did the changes, renovate a few things, making sure everything was okay. And that's how we opened. Like, I feel that everything has been like, we never had like a strict business plan that we need to follow and achieve. It just happened, you know? And that location is only 7 minutes away from my house. So it's just perfect. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, you said earlier that you feel like you've been very blessed because everything has just kind of happened the right way and naturally, and opportunities coming to you when you're sort of looking but not really, like, just kind of unfolded in a really unique kind of organic way, right?
Everything has been very organic.
Yeah.
We were not even a year old with the food truck whenever the opportunity for the brick and mortar came up. It's gonna be on November. It's gonna be our first anniversary in the brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And only in June we just turned 2 years with Taco Empire with the food truck. So it has happened very quickly, but everything has been organic. So we just accept it, embrace it, and just keep going with what is coming up.
Yeah. So when you move into your brick and mortar, then you get to unfold the catering side of your business.
Right.
Tell me about that, how that has kind of evolved, and what that's like, reaching out to big companies to cater, for huge events and stuff like that.
Right. So just as everything else, there was a demand there. People wanted to have the food for events and stuff like that. So we started building packages. We are very close to Paycom because we're on 122nd and Rockwell. Paycom is on Memorial and Rockwell, I think. And a lot of their employees will come to us to have lunch and stuff. And one of the big guys, I guess, say, you need to bring Taco Empire to our cafeteria. So ever since that, we started working just once a month. Now we do 4 times a month for them, and we do large orders. Last Friday, we make 1,200 burritos.
How long does it take you to make 1,200 burritos?
A long time, and a lot of hands.
How big is your team?
For this, probably 10 people, 10 to 12, yeah.
That's a huge operation, but it's also really, really, nice, I guess, as a business owner to take that leap originally and then know that you can perform at that level and that scale. Because a lot of businesses, they would get nervous and they wouldn't even try to attempt that. They might just pass it on to somebody else.
I think that's one of the things that characterizes. We never say no. Yeah. Sometimes we regret about that.
That's business though, right?
Right. But it's just pushing yourself to new opportunities. If you just say no, you won't even give yourself the chance to try to see if you did it or not. So it worked. It's been working. It gets better and better. Yeah. And then it just gives us the experience. So with this client, of course, we can cater any other large orders that people want. So, yeah.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, and then, you go out and try to get the business, and you can say, hey, by the way, we do Paycom, 1,200 people 4 times a month. You know, whatever you're trying to do, we can take care of that.
Right.
And then the food speaks for itself. So that's kind of the 2 biggest concerns, right? Is the food good, and then can you handle that volume?
Can you handle this? Yes.
Yeah, and the good thing is now that you can. What's next on the business plan?
What's next? Well, right now we are working and literally having a plan of how everything's supposed to be, getting all the systems and processes, because you will think that we have it all figured out.
Nobody has it all figured out.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
But I feel confident that by 2026 we'll have another location.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's going to be in Oklahoma?
For sure.
Close to the metro area?
Sometimes I just let God take care of everything, just as it has been in the past. downtown, I would like to have a location there, or maybe we can go to Norman or be here in Edmond.
Yeah.
Whatever, like, we'll have one in every place, but I don't know exactly where the next one is going to be.
Yeah. Do you take a lot of patience, a lot of confidence, knowing that you're going to let God take things, kind of things have unfolded naturally to get you here, and that's been successful, and so you're happy to not try and force the growth. You're happy to just keep doing what you're doing every day, and then just you have a plan, but let things unfold. Right? That's not a unique way to look at business, but I know a lot of people out there, they're impatient. They want to open up stores. They want to get as many things open as possible and grow and grow and grow. And it seems like the opposite for you.
No, for us, it's just God's timing is perfect. And of course, I have an idea of what I want to do and by when I want to have it. And I do work hard for it. And, it's part of it. Like, you have to work for it too. God won't come to you and say, hey, there you go. But I always trust the process. I always trust him. And I know that eventually everything will just fall into place and it will happen. And it has happened that way. So I just trust the process.
How have you been kind of received in the Hispanic community here as a mentor of someone who's come over here that's built a successful business that they see in the community, that has a food truck and has this store and is doing all these great catering things? Do you get reached out to be a mentor? Do you?
I do, but at the same time, I don't feel confident yet.
Okay.
I mean, a few people will ask for my opinion and things. And then I'm always busy at this point that I don't have everything settled down the way I want, that my schedule is very demanding, and I don't have the time to like really sit down and get back to the community and go in there and offer my expertise. I feel that I don't know very much either yet. I mean, I feel happy and grateful and, I don't know, honor. What is the word that I'm looking for? When people will come to me and get like, hey, I really trust your opinion on this. What do you think? But I don't think I have given back to the community or to others as much as I would like to, because I don't feel that I have. I'm just ready yet. I'm still learning.
Growing.
So, and I don't want to be like, I just opened a food truck and a restaurant, and it happened very quickly. That doesn't mean that I know everything. Right. It's just one of the things that everything has coming into place, but it doesn't mean that I have the key or the key for success or the answers to any question or every question. Yeah,
because I have seen, on your social media, you've done other podcasts and you've been on, it seems like, panels and done some speaking and certain events and stuff. So
well, I have a group of friends, and all of them are either business owners or they have, they work in big companies. And one of the things that we do like to do is that we get together once a month and we invite women from the Hispanic community that are we're trying to create a culture of that anybody can do it. Like, if I'm also a mom and I had the time to do it, like little by little, you need to change people's minds, because, a lot of people will think that, I'm just a housewife and this is what the only thing that, so we're kind of trying to have an idea, to change their minds and offer opportunities with our knowledge, which is not much, but we share from our perspective and from our experiences. And we have done it a few times. It's been good. And it's just a little bit of just giving back, not as the way I would like in the future but it's just a little bit of something.
How do people find you? How do people find that group if they're listening and they want to get involved?
Well, if they follow me on my social media, we usually share the flyer. It's the first Thursday of every month on Western and Memorial. It's a small event center. And then it's just like 2 hours. We have a theme. We pick a theme. We talked about it, discuss questions, and just a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I love that you have, a heart for giving back, and I know that you clearly have enough awareness that, like, hey, I don't have enough time yet, but it is in the plan, and I'll give as much back as I can right now. But obviously, the plan is to give back more time and wisdom when you're older and had more time in business to learn and grow. And
I hope it doesn't have to be in a very, very long time. Like, give me 2 more years probably, or I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. So we've talked a little bit about the business. We've talked a little bit about you, but you mentioned you have a very demanding schedule, so you're always busy. But if you get a day off, what does a dream day off look like for you? What are you doing? What are you doing to relax? What are you doing for fun?
I like to run. I want to run half marathon on November.
Okay.
The Red Coyote Marathon. I wanted to do the Route 66 in Tulsa, but I won't be here.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I like to do, and just relax at home. I mean, my partying days and all of that.
As soon as you turn 30 years old, it's over, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and that's probably one thing that you maybe miss from back home, right? Is like that. I think we spoke about it previously. You'd gone home for a wedding, and you're like, it's a party. It's a great time.
Oh yeah. Nothing
like it is here.
Nothing like here. It's kind of wild, and but it's very cool.
Yeah. So you like to run. You're going to do the half marathon that's coming up, and obviously you have 2 kids as well that take up a lot of your time.
Yes.
Are they into all the sports? Are you kind of trucking them around to soccer, basketball, and all the things?
Soccer.
Yeah.
The oldest was in karate, and now is in swimming lessons. I mean, well, not swimming lessons, but now he's doing a lot of swimming.
Yeah.
And my
Did you
kid.
play sports growing up?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
Not at all?
No.
Well, and from some of my former teammates and friends in college, there is no secret that people from Mexico love soccer.
Oh, yeah.
Football. I call it football. Real football.
Football. Real football.
Yeah, real football. Thank you for that. You're probably one of the very few people that on this podcast that understands that. It's real football. It's not American football. Everyone calls it soccer. But, I know the soccer community here is huge.
Yes.
And there's a lot of really cool leagues going on, and I haven't partaken in any of it because I would
Do you
something.
because I know you play golf, right?
I play golf, yeah.
But do you like soccer at all?
I don't mind it, but I haven't played it in a long time. Since college.
But are you fine or not really?
What do you mean?
Like, because I know in the UK...
It's big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not like one of those like diehard fans get up at 6 a.m. on a Saturday to watch it. No, I don't like. It's not a religion to me, like it is to some people, right? Like people.
Because it's the same in Mexico.
Yeah,
people.
And I definitely miss game day back home because the games here are nowhere near what they are. Probably the same for you too. That atmosphere of going to a game back home. It's hard to explain if you've never been. Like Americans think that they can chant, and their chants out here are terrible. And I've said this multiple times on the podcast, so I don't feel bad about saying it. It's just not the same. Like if you go to a game in Mexico, you go to a game in the UK, like you got 20, 30,000 people singing in the same song and like all game, and there's flares and fireworks going off and smoke, and you're like, this is an atmosphere. This is what a football match is.
Yes, one of the things that I miss from home. Yep.
Is football games?
Yeah, I wasn't like the huge fan of any of it, but you like to be with the excitement and all the euphoria that everybody's having. So it's very nice.
Outside of, taking care of your kids and being busy and running, any other hobbies that you have? Anything that like people would be surprised to know that Pilar loves to do this or loves to do something else? Any guilty pleasures?
Any guilty pleasures? Lately, my life has been so busy that I barely had any other time for anything else. Okay. Anything else. Before, I tried to do gardening. It worked, but now all my plants are dead.
Mine too.
If I can have if I can have free time to really relax, that's a win. Like, and I know it's part of it. Like, I know this will not last forever. Eventually, I'm working on having that lifestyle that I want without having to have a demanding life as it is right now. But I'm grateful and I'm happy, and you just have to see the good side of everything. Otherwise, you're gonna be unhappy. And we're building and we're doing great things and big things. So I'm just enjoying the process.
Yeah, this season in your life is to build and work, and you know that's happening. You know that's not forever.
Yeah, I mean,
the reason you're working so hard is to build a life for yourself after.
Mm-hmm. You'll miss things. You'll miss parties and a lot of things, but eventually it's gonna be all worth it.
Mm-hmm. Back to the business, what would you say is your specialty at Taco Empire? Is there anything that you guys just do so much better than everybody else, or that like your customers just love?
Well, there is a very popular dish that are called quesadillas, which are like 3 small quesadillas filled with shredded beef, onion, cilantro, cheese, and then the meat is called birria. We slowly cooked it in a broth that is a little bit spicy. Not spicy, it's very flavorful. Mm-hmm. So we'll give you a side of the broth so you can dip in the quesadillas. And that's probably our biggest bestseller. Yeah. We do have a lot of things. Like, it's hard to pick one because everything is so good. And when people come to the restaurant, hey, what's your favorite? What's the best? And I'm like, well, you should try this. Oh, and that, and then and this and this, and then I just gave the whole menu. Yeah. So
give me all your money.
Yes, I'm like, I'm sorry, everything is really good.
Yeah.
But I do encourage people to try different things all the time, and people will always say like, oh yeah, I tried something different and I loved it. Now I'm gonna try this. Our shrimp tacos are very good too. Our tortas is like a sandwich. It's delicious. What else? We have bowls. We integrated the bowls into our menu because, Chipotle and Qdoba will have their own, and people will ask him for those, and we have all the ingredients, so we just put that on the menu, and that's been very popular too. But probably the quesadillas is our bestseller. Okay.
How often do you kind of have time to get out and explore the food in Oklahoma City?
Before, I used to consider myself a foodie.
Okay.
Now that I don't have time, I barely go anywhere. Yeah. I barely go to Chick-fil-A.
Where were some of your favorites when you had time?
Sushi Nico is one of the ones that I like the most for the sushi. Okay. I used to love Yokozuna, but they now closed. I really like sushi. Yeah. Awaji is like the opposite corner or where we are. Uh-huh. They're delicious. Richard is a good friend of mine too. And then, what else? I don't really have like a favorite because I always try to pick different restaurants, but they all have to be local. Like, I don't do any chain restaurants anymore. Stella is very good. What else? Cafe Cacao, which is...
Yeah, I had it for breakfast this morning.
You did?
Yeah, it's so good. Had their French toast this morning.
The French toast. Yeah. Which one? The pumpkin something that they...
yeah, it just has like fruit and caramel syrup and like... just...
Lots of
it's so good. I had to split it. I didn't eat all of it. And I don't usually get that. I'm not usually like a sweet fan for breakfast. I usually like steak and eggs. So I usually get their tikal. Which is a lot of food, and their fruit with the mango with drizzle or whatever it is. So good. Yeah, I love what you said. Now that you're a local business owner and you understand the value of supporting other local businesses, mm-hmm. right? And it seems like the food community here is really great, and everyone kind of like looks after each other and helps out.
And not only on the food community, like our vendors, we try to do as much as local as we can. Sometimes it's hard to support everyone, but it's about supporting local businesses as well because we've been supported as very much. Yeah. And one of the things that I was trying to remember, what else do I like to do? I like to travel. I just don't travel.
Okay, yeah.
But I do like to travel.
Yeah. Where are some of the trips you went on before you opened up the business?
Before, I didn't travel very much. I'm just starting.
Yeah.
But next year I want to go to Iceland. I'm planning on that, so hopefully, it will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you like the idea of getting into like going and seeing icebergs and the cold, like Scandinavia, Iceland, like that Alaska type kind of adventure?
I'm not a huge fan of ice,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna have to sacrifice. Yeah.
Well, Iceland's generally green and Greenland's generally icy, is what I've been told. I've not been to Iceland, but
Right.
it looks beautiful.
It does look beautiful. I mean, and we're going on September, which is, I don't think it's not like the winter time. It's more summery. So we'll be able to, it will be cold, but it's not gonna be, that's what I've been told, I don't know, as cold. And then you'll see all the views and all the greens that you want to see from the pictures and everything. So I'm hoping it's gonna be good.
Did you travel much as a kid around South America?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Never had time?
It's very sad to say, but
Yeah.
I've never been in other than Mexico and the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a long list of places you want to go to.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm working on.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, and the great thing too is that the food in other cultures and things you get to experience around that, not just going to the scenery and seeing a different country, but there's so much more to it than
Right,
just
but
that.
I did travel in Mexico, and Mexico is a huge,
Massive.
yes,
Yeah.
it has so many beautiful places that you can go and so many different scenarios that I wish, like, hopefully in the future, I will give myself the time to just go visit Mexico, because it has so much to offer that there's no way there. I mean, other
Yeah.
countries too, but there's so much to get to know in Mexico that I want to be able to see that too.
Have you ever thought about making your own tequila brand to go at your restaurants?
I don't think we're there yet.
No? Have your own Taco Empire tequila?
That's a good idea.
Right?
I never thought about it, but thank you, Mike. No.
You're welcome. I'll take a small cut of that one. No, I know friends of mine at Neighborhood Jam, they have their own vodka at Neighborhood Jam. And because they use a lot of vodka in a lot of different drinks. But obviously, coming from Mexico, tequila is, like milk and water for you guys.
Right, true.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know how the process is. I don't think it's that hard, because nowadays everybody has their own tequila. So that's definitely an opportunity that we can.
Do you have kind of margaritas and cocktails at your restaurant?
Yeah, we have a full bar. Recipes cocktails that are from our hometown in Mexico that are very popular there. I feel that we are more like a casual, fast food casual. So not everybody will sit down to have a cocktail unless it's like the weekend. But we do have great cocktails as well.
Yeah. Was that kind of added to the business plan, or was that from day one you're opening up, you're like, no, we're going to have a bar and cocktails?
Yeah, from day one. It took us a minute to get our liquor license. But also the model that we have, which is like a kind of fast food and a lot of to-goes, high volume on to-goes and all of that, is not much for, it hasn't been as successful as I will want it to for the alcohol, but we're working on having people to come and try our cocktails, because they're really good. People need to give them a chance to try them.
Yeah, that's another science, right? To mixology and all that kind of having beautiful and fun drinks to share with your food. And you mentioned, the aesthetic has got to look good of the food, and then you add in like a beautiful drink. Like it all kind of.
I feel that the whole
together.
restaurant thing is a formula that need to you can have good food, but if people gets you only for to goes and like a quick eat or something, how do you bring people into the restaurant? Okay, let's add cocktails. They're pretty, they're good. Okay, but the ambience, why all of the things together, trying to find, I don't know, there's a science there that we're kind of trying to figure it out. But we're working.
Yeah, because you add in the music, right? Like just the ambience of the restaurant, and no one wants to walk into a quiet space of just listening to people talking. Right? You want to play some music and have a good time, and make it an event for someone to come and they experience your restaurant, and they know exactly how it feels when they walk in. Okay, we know where we're at. Ideally, in my head, I would think that if somebody walked into your restaurant, you blindfolded them before they walk in, they would know where they're at because of the atmosphere, that they could say, "Oh, we're at Taco Empire." But finishing up, what would you say are your maybe keys to success and the advice you'd give to anybody else starting a restaurant today?
Starting a restaurant.
based on your experience?
Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not worth it. Yeah.
No, you really need to know your niche. And I feel that having good food is not the only thing. I mean, yeah, it is probably the most important, but now in my experience, it's not the only thing that matters. Marketing, it's very important. And not only that, also service, because we do try to give that extra mile at Taco Empire by like making everyone feel very welcome and have a great experience, good service, and all of that. And that's, I feel that one of the things that has bringing more people. And yes, the food is good, but the service and ambience and everything all together is like, okay, yeah, we need to go, you know.
Yeah. For people listening, where can they find you? Where is, I know obviously we have the website, tacoempireokc.com, but where is the location? And you mentioned it earlier, but I need to remind everybody to come out and see you.
Okay, we are on 7000 Northwest 122nd. It's on Rockwell and 122nd Street. We are open Monday through Saturday from 11 till 9 p.m. On Sunday, we open at 11. We close at 7. We have a full bar, good cocktails, good food, everything. Just come and visit us. And yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Wish you all the success. And hopefully, like you said, in 2 years' time, you'll have another place open and you'll have a lot more time to yourself and you'll be traveling and having a great time. And yeah, and then you said your anniversary is November?
November 1st.
November 1st.
So follow us on Taco Empire OKC.
For people listening, I'll put a link to the Instagrams and the website in the description. Go click that right now. Check that out. And then, yeah, November 1st, come by and celebrate and grab a drink and everything on the menu because it all tastes good. So, yeah, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mike.
Hope you guys enjoyed that great episode. Thank you so much for listening. As always, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, sharing Oklahoma story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com and follow them on Instagram for daily updates at oklahomahof. Our other sponsor, the Chickasaw Nation, amazing sponsor. They do amazing things for the state and they're always sponsoring something in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma, and without their support we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And our third sponsor is Diffie Ford Lincoln down in El Reno. Now this one makes me so happy because these guys are great friends of mine, play a lot of golf together. I've bought my cars from them, do most of my oil changes down there, have a cup of coffee, hang out down in El Reno. It's a good spot to go. And not only are they great friends, but they provide a great service. So for over 60 years, third generation family owned Oklahoma business down in El Reno. They're also in Bethany as well. So people in the Bethany area know the Diffies really well. But if you're looking for anything new, used, Ford, Lincoln, or whatever, I'm sure they could find anything you want. Check them out, diffieford.net, and then on Instagram at diffiefordlincoln. This episode is brought to you by the Doghouse OKC. Recently, I have been in need of some doggy daycare for my 2 pups, and the Doghouse have come in clutch. The team over there are incredible. They've taken care of my 2 golden doodles, and so it's been an honor to partner with them on the podcast and share the love. And the one thing that I do with the sponsors that I have is stuff that I use and recommend, like the Diffies with my car, Hall of Fame. They're awesome. Citizens Banks, where I bank. Chickasaw Nation, huge supporter of Oklahoma. And adding to that is the Doghouse. And so if you're in need of doggy daycare in the day or boarding overnight, they do grooming and other cool things too. But I've had a fantastic experience, and it's an honor and a privilege to share this with you too. So go to thedoghouseokc.com and follow them on Instagram at thedoghouseokc. And hopefully our pups will run into each other.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.